It's really where we talk about things that we're just trying to figure out.
All right, what's up, y'all? We are back for another episode of Just Trying to Figure It Out. And I am your host, Kemaray of Kemaray Music TV. We're bringing the podcast back, so Happy New Year. Let's get into some topics on tonight. Today, something. All right. As you all know, if you follow me, the person, the brand, I am getting over the Omarion. Okay. Getting over the Omarion, and honestly, it hasn't been as bad as it could have been, as I've heard it's been. So I'm eternally grateful, eternally grateful, eternally grateful to the Lord God Himself, because Lord knows it could have been worse. So one of my one of my New Year's resolutions was to bring the podcast back. Have lots of topics all the time that I want to discuss, and never really like a platform to do so. But that's just an excuse I give. I have a platform. It's just I don't use it, and my time management when it comes to my brand is horrible. I'm an all-in type of person. So if I'm a teacher, I'm all in on that. If I'm in the military, I'm all in on that. And so to be multifaceted and do everything to the fullest has been a struggle. But I've learned that it doesn't have to be perfected. It just has to be something that we're doing. If we're going to be a creator, let's make it pop. Let's do this thing, right? So yeah, I want to bring this back. Just trying to figure it out. It is a podcast where we flesh out different topics. Maybe if it's pop culture, maybe something that happened to me in the week, something that irked me, something that had my mind going, something that made me feel good, something that made me feel bad. And we just kind of talk about it because I know somebody somewhere is feeling like I'm feeling. Okay. So if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. If you are just listening on Spotify or Google Play or Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, thank you for listening. Please make sure you hit that follow button so that you are always notified when you get new episodes. The way that I'm thinking it's going to go this year is that we're going to have 4 quarters, like a basketball game, okay, of chunks of episodes, at least 10. And then I'll go away for about 3 weeks to recuperate and then come on back and get with y'all. I think that's how we going to do things. I think that's the way it's going to go, just to avoid the creator burnout, especially since I'm trying to have so many things, so many other things, come on, going on. So I'm figuring out Anchor all over again, and really thankful for Anchor because before, when I first started my podcast, I didn't know nothing about an Anchor. I don't think they had Anchor. Spotify definitely hadn't bought Anchor. So I was working all these different apps and programs and RSS feed and all kind of stuff that I didn't know nothing about. And this just takes the grunt work out of a lot of that. So I'm super thankful for Anchor. And I was able to grab my old intro, so that'll be on there. Not the one of me singing my voicemail. This other one, short, cute, sweet, to the point. So yeah, I'm feeling good about this thing. I think I've gotten everything out of the way. Oh, JTFIO podcast does have an Instagram, so I have Kemaray Music TV, which is my official brand, and then JTFIO podcast is a piece of art under that. So that has its own Instagram. And I think I've said everything. I think I've done all the things. So yeah, let's get into some topics that kind of got my mind going. So of course, this format will be a little bit more finalized and neat and cute as the year goes on. But as of right now, honey, right now it's just a vent session about Fresh and Fit podcast. Oh wait, if there's one thing that gets my steam going, it's colorism. Because it's just so just everywhere in every race, every single race. They always picking on the darker ones, and always uplifting the lighter ones, and there's always stereotypes associated no matter what race, right? It's prevalent in Asian culture, Hispanic culture, like everywhere, especially Black culture, which is the one I know the most about. And I don't identify as dark skin or light skin. I'm a brown skin girl, okay? But it is still very evident to me that a lot of this stuff is rubbing off on the youth. It's always the youth. Always the youth is always the concern. If you guys don't know, I'm a teacher, and so as a teacher, I I hear the rhetoric and the sounds and the voices of the young Black males every day who are calling our young Black girls ghetto and ratchet. And it raises into question a few things, okay? Do we behave in a way sometimes that can be perceived or notated or commented as ghetto or ratchet? Yeah, sure. But actually, that's the style right now. It's super popular. It's just not popular for us. Long nails, popping of the tongue, certain sounds, certain vernacular. A lot of that is very popular as long as you're not Black. If you're white, they love it. If you're Hispanic, they love it. Love a little spicy Latina, right? Like Kimberly Foster says. Um, all that is fine when you're not Black, but when you are Black, it's deemed as ghetto. So then the question becomes, do you just not like your skin? Do you just not like your own skin? Okay, so why am I talking about this? I'm talking about this because in the podcast, it's two hosts that identify as Black from what I can see and from the way that they act. And they had Asian doll on there, Asian brat doll, Brat's doll, one of them. And was very rude to her. Very rude. And she kept her cool. She didn't pop off. But she would have been well in her rights if she had. I think she didn't pop off because she didn't want to get that angry Black woman stigma. And she had just been coming down off of some mess from a month prior that she got into on her own self, okay, had got into some trouble in the news or whatever. And so I think that may be why she didn't come off as crazy. But then, when that went viral, then people start digging and saying, "Oh, these two, they been not like this. They been colorists." There was a clip that went around of them talking about a preference, and oh, that is the good and faithful, reliable topic, the preference. And so of course, a lot of us realists and wokeners had to pull up and put up our opinion because no. Okay, so let's talk about the preference part. He said, regardless of the way that he said, I don't do those Shaniquas, they're ratchet, and I don't like Black girls. I don't like to spend my time in the darker pool. Like it was a lot. It was a lot. I mean, it was very targeted, okay? But I want to speak to the preference part. I know a lot of people people that I know. We'll just keep that all the way. People that I know are have said this very same thing to me. I just don't prefer Black women because Black women are ghetto. And so to me, a preference becomes a preference when it can stand on its own, right? I prefer this because it offers this, okay? I prefer this hair because it is full. It looks like my own hair. If you're looking at me on the screen, it looks like my own hair. It's affordable. It's giving the color that it's supposed to give. It's not a dull color. And it just sits, and I prefer it for it. Okay. But if I said I prefer this hair because every other kind of hair doesn't do what this does, actually, that's still leaning towards this. I prefer this hair because that specific hair is flat. That specific hair is dull. That specific hair is expensive. Why am I targeting that hair when I should be uplifting this hair? Okay, if I lost some of y'all, I'm going to come on back, okay? So Preference, like I keep saying, it's more about that thing. Okay. If I prefer black men, I prefer black men because, you know, that's what I'm used to. They have a certain look I desire, a certain lineage I desire, right? Versus the latter. Okay. So when this guy is saying, like I prefer, my preference isn't black women. Okay. It just sound a little personal. Sound like you got something else going on because black women are not a monolith. No one is a monolith. Even twins aren't monolithic. Okay. Everyone has things about them that make them solely them. Now, black people as a whole do have things that make us black. We all know the spaghetti Tupperware bowl. We all know certain things, but then you have black women into anime and you have black women who wear weaves and black women who don't, black women who perm their hair, black women who are natural, black women who cut their hair, black women who can do their own hair, black women who are perceived as your ghetto ratchet girls and love that and glorify all that, and black women who ain't never seen a ghetto and never been to a hood. So I think all those things then become, in question as well. What's dangerous about it though is that you got a 10-year-old saying I don't do black girls because they're ghetto. Because now you're just swearing off a whole race, a whole group of people because of your experience with one or two or because of what you see. So then the next part becomes, as I sip my water, the next part becomes what is in the media, what is being popularized. Okay, because the black nerdy girl into anime ain't what's on TV. It's always the sassy black girl that gets casted. They're always looking for a sassy black girl to be in to be in the friend group, to be in, the cheerleader's best friend, the popular girl's best friend. We need a sassy black girl for that part. We need a sassy black girl to play the mama, to play the aunt, to play the grandma. We need that. It's never the passive, quaint, quiet, because being black is synonymous with strong. That's what that is. I'm going to pause on that so that y'all feel that. Okay. So, in certain topics that you don't want to get too deep on because everybody feel like everybody just so deep. I don't think it's being deep. I think it's just, I want y'all to understand there are reasons for reasons. And so when you think of black women and you immediately think long nails, black girl, ooh, girl, you think all that. That is the media that has put that in your mind and glorified this image. And yeah, a bunch of us took it on as well. And felt like that is us. That is what makes us us. And looked at it as a bad thing and tried not to be ghetto and tried to be more proper and tried to be more palatable for white people and for the professional world. And only just now are we glorified in the media with the brown skin girl and the Crown Act and all these different things. Now it is being pushed out there, more to be happy about what we look like and be proud, not happy, not content, but proud about our features and realize that every other race loves our features. They just don't love them on us. So when you think about this podcast, it was so emboldened to come out and just be talking how they talking about us. Because on one hand, you can't cancel people that you never listen to. I never listened to them because where I'm not wanted or where I'm not glorified, I'm not going to be listening. Let's just make that very clear. Okay. They did have a couple episodes where women were just sitting around and feeling like the exception, and that's dangerous. Feeling like the exception and being glorified for not being like those other black women. They did have that. They did have those. But for me, it's like, we don't even need to be keeping this type of company because they're literally not even for us. Who needs some? But since we're on the subject, since we're talking about it, that's why we're discussing it here, because it's a hot topic. It's in the news. But to be honest, I never clicked on it. The only way I found out about it was through other people that I listened to, them dragging them. For Harriet asking for us to deplatform them. That's how I found out. And I'm with it because regardless of how I feel and the content that I choose not to consume, the children that I teach and the children that I mold are listening to that and are watching that. So what are we really changing? There are dark-skinned girls and brown-skinned girls who are getting the clout, who are getting the recognition, and it is changing from how it once was. But also, is it changing fast enough? Is it? Is it? It's not. So what I just try to be is just a walking billboard for, you know, the degradation of colorism. We just don't need it. What does it really do for you? And it's just so embedded. It's so embedded in our culture and the way that we move and the way that we do things that it's taken a lot to pull down and tear down. I will admit it's taken a lot. Sometimes I have to catch myself because you'll think, is that color going to look right on my skin? And it's like, some people don't even have to worry about that. But who put that in your mind? Okay. So I want to know what y'all think about this topic. I just, the only reason why I know it needs to be discussed is because, like I said, the future, baby, the future. So yeah, I'm gonna challenge y'all, and I want to know next week. I want to hear your thoughts on that. In the meantime, between time, last night, actually early morning, I was on Love Me Hair looking for my new do, a new cut, a new style, a new color. And I think I have found it. Not I think, honey, because I purchased it in the dawn, in the crack of dawn. Sun wasn't up, and Jesus himself wasn't moving around, but I purchased it, and I'm excited because it's glueless and it's long and it's a color that I have not had for a long time. And it's pre-plugged and bleached. And so, the more things I say, the more it costs. But we're going to see about that next week. Maybe we should make black hair a segment on here because it inadvertently and accidentally became a topic that I am so knowledgeable about because I am changing my hair quite frequently all the time. And it's always extreme. It's always something top notch. And it very recently became something that I was passionate about because even in the military, I wasn't doing it like that to that extent, honey. To that extent. I wasn't doing it like that, honey, baby. So yeah, let's see what else I want to discuss before I move on to my next segment. What else is going on in the world? Oh, I gotta stop doing that in the mic. That is so rude. So rude. I think I'm good. I think I'm done on the topics. This is my first episode after a long time. And so I wanted to keep it light, keep y'all engaged. And so how I want to close out this episode is something that is bringing me joy to the world. Something that has brought me joy is the fact that even with all the stops and pauses and everything that Dorona brought, I'm thankful that my content is still evolving, still moving, still learning, still doing all the things. And I'm grateful for all the inventions out there that are creating content easier, because Lord knows it was so hard for so long. And you're essentially doing all this stuff for free, right? You're not getting paid. So yeah, that has been bringing me joy, especially with having Omarion this past week. Like I said, when I first opened the episode, I'm thankful that I didn't have too many symptoms. Thankful that I was able to get up and plan for my kids and, send in my work for the kids to do. And I'll be back to work this week. And My husband's getting over it. I'm getting over it. I'm just thankful for those things. Thankful for my puppies and my dogs. Thankful for my family, grandparents doing well. Thankful for all that. And thankful to be back with y'all, just trying to figure things out as we move on and go. Go as we may go. But I'm going to hop off of here. I did just want to come and be amongst you. Because I love you. You. All right, so next time you guys know what to do. You know where to follow me. You know what to do. Send in your topics. I want to start a segment where we do some advice. So I'll probably be asking on Twitter. And yeah, we're going to get this thing back rolling in 2022, baby. We are here. We are ready. I'm Kim Ray, your host of this podcast, hashtag JTFIO, or just trying to figure it out. Till next time, y'all. See y'all in the next one.